What's up, folks? Maximilian here, and as promised, today was the day Microsoft held their live stream showing off everything we pretty much needed to know about FULGORE. So let's get this thing started and show off all the different things that were featured within this live stream. Number one, FULGORE's character colors, and you'll notice a lot of different variances between these, as well as some that definitely point towards other franchises and stuff like that. I definitely like the white and black FULGORE, which heavily resembles a stormtrooper, although there's no hard red variant, there's a very dirty red one at the end. But more importantly, let's get on to the gameplay. FULGORE is a character that's kind of similar to Jago. He has the rushing cyber dash attack, he has multiple projectiles, including one that shoots 1, 2, or 3, eye lasers that hit low, medium, or in the sky like an aerial eye laser, and all of these happen very fast. The triple fireball has the most recovery, but there's a danger to the triple fireball, and it's that if your opponent blocks 3 fireballs, they get a ridiculous amount of meter. So some other dudes that have moves that can go across the entire screen, like Jago's Shadow Wind Kick and the Firecat Super, you're pretty much feeding them meter to go through your projectiles, and it can be a little dangerous. Now, moving on towards other specials, there was some pretty interesting things as far as his teleport. It turns out his teleport is actually screen relative, not character relative. This essentially means that if you do something towards one side of the screen or the other, it'll always be on that side of the screen. As an example, Spinal's is character relative. When you do the heavy teleport, he pops behind the other person, and with FULGORE, if you do the heavy teleport, it actually always shows up on the right side of the screen. Now, FULGORE is dramatically different than every other character because, as you can tell in the bottom left-hand portion of the screen, FULGORE does not have a regular meter similar to all the 7 other characters in Killer Instinct. He's got what's called the reactor gauge, but I'm calling it nuke meter just because of a RoboCop 2 reference. Essentially, this thing is replacing how bar is used with FULGORE, and he has to manually acquire it through several different means. The first one is basically through charging. I think if you did a quarter circle back with kick, you do a charge move. You do the light one and it recovers pretty fast, but only gives you 1 pip out of 10. You do the medium one and it gives you 2, and you do the heavy one and it gives you 3 by default, or you can hold the heavy one down to get a whole freaking bunch. FULGORE gets 10 pips in total, and 4 pips represents regular shadow usage. So that means all shadow moves, shadow counters, and stuff like that. You can essentially do 2 shadow moves and still have 2 pips left because of the full 10 that he has in stock. But this makes FULGORE a bit more challenging than most of the rest of the cast, is that he has to acquire this stock, this nuke gauge, in order to keep building up his meter, and he has to do so through 3 different means. And the first mean, like we said, is charging manually by doing the actual special move motion and finding areas where it's safe to charge. The other is through actually doing one of the triple doubles. Any triple double that successfully connects gives you a single pip at the end of your combo, and this is a little risky because it's 3 consistent hits. Manual don't do it, only triple doubles, and the final one is his instinct gauge, which eventually just restores the bars to their maximum and they fill up gradually. The crazy thing about this is that only in Instinct he gets access to the full giant devastation laser. That's how you get to use it. You need to have full stock, all 10 pips available, as well as Instinct mode activated, and you can let the beam fly. And this beam, if it hits raw without any scaling and anything like that, it does like 40 to 45%. It's freaking crazy good. However, if you put it into a combo in any way, it heavily scales, probably heavier than anything else in the entire game. So you got to be kind of careful how you use it, and sometimes using it in certain situations might not be as effective. It's not immediate on startup. It does have a little bit of startup. We saw it interrupted several times throughout the live stream. So it's a good move, but once you know it's there, it's not going to be the end-all be-all. It's kind of used in only very specific situations. Now, what's also crazy is that similar to, I'd say, Hakan in like Street Fighter 4, when you get all oiled up, your movement changes and you can kind of have better access to more moves that give you better priority. But with FULGORE, what's confirmed is that when you're actually full on the nuke gauge and it's charged up all the way to 10, his walk speed is dramatically different, his dash speed is dramatically different, and he's much faster as a character in general. They didn't specifically say if any of his moves individually change, but seeing how quick the difference is between his walking normally to the one where he's actually full on charge is pretty crazy. And in relation to the nuke gauge, last but not least is something that's extremely important and is probably going to be relevant to FULGORE being a really good character, is the fact that you can change one special into another, and we made this notice during the analysis of the trailer that was yesterday. You can actually cancel one special move into another special move with some limitations, they were saying. So, for example, you can throw a laser blast like the fireball one, and then go into an eye laser or go into a cyber dash, or throw fireballs and then go into a teleport to the opposite side and follow up for a combo. There was a couple hints at this at the trailer, which we did notice, but that appears how it's actually usable, is that you can actually special cancel into another special move at the cost of one of these pips. So it looks like Fulgore is going to be kind of dependent on meter. It really seems like this reactor slash nuke gauge thing is really going to make Fulgore, like, make or break him, whether or not he's going to be extremely good. You have to get that meter. And if you have that meter available when you go into Instinct, you can even launch like multiple beams against somebody, and if those land, that's a lot of freaking damage. Fulgore looks really good. Between all that we've seen today, between the different situations, it definitely looks like Fulgore is going to be more favorable in some specific matches, and I'm going to guess right now that he's going to do fairly good against Sadira because he has a lot of anti-air options as well as covering the sky. That heavy eye laser that goes straight up in the air and covers full screen is really good, and that's exactly where Sadira wants to be, as well as Glacius. I think he's going to have a really good opportunity to take advantage against certain things that Glacius does full screen, because Fulgore can kind of get in at any point and make him safe at the same time. And if Fulgore is full screen, what are you going to be doing? You're going to be charging up that thing and getting all your meter and going crazy and stuff like that. And Glacius can't get to you quickly. He doesn't have like a teleport or something like that. He just has a lot of defensive options. However, I am seeing things being potentially challenging against other characters like Thunder and Saberwolf. Shockingly, these two are the bigger rushdown characters that have extremely damaging moves with kind of a little amount of risk, and they're just really good up close, probably better than any other character in the game. And to be honest, Saberwolf and Jago and Thunder kind of dominate the really high-level strategies of Killer Instinct. Jago specifically because of his manuals, Saberwolf because of his really close-range offense, and Thunder because of that freaking Shadow Command grab and hard knockdown uppercut. It makes them really good, and we'll have to see what Fulgore is going to do against these characters because it's going to be an interesting evolving point. Fulgore is also kind of similar to Jago, so we're going to see how everything kind of spans out, whether or not his manuals make a big difference, how important the meter is, and if that's really going to make or break him as a character, because right now it appears that it is. The thing that's kind of poetic justice in a way is that I'm taking a huge prediction that there's one character that might blow up Fulgore pretty hard or make the matchup dramatically difficult, and it's Spinal. The reason being is that Fulgore can't gain meter normally like every other character in the game. He has to work for it, and Spinal can take away your meter and instinct easily. That's kind of what he does. And if Fulgore is extremely reliant on meter to be good, and Spinal takes that away with ease, you suddenly have a character that kind of blasts through everything that makes Fulgore what he is. So we'll see how that spans out in the long run, but overall, we got to see a lot of what Fulgore is all about today, and it really seems like the nuke gauge is going to be really important. Going from special move to special move is going to be really important. Teleporting across the screen to get mix-ups through your teleports is also going to be really important, and dramatically different than everyone else, Fulgore seems like an extreme momentum-based character. Like, if you get the momentum on your side and go for his low to overhead to mix-ups, this character is going to be a little freaking ridiculous. So we finally got a look at Fulgore's gameplay. What do you guys think about him now that you actually see him in action fighting against other characters? What do you think about his stage? I think the stage is kind of cool because it's got a different lighting than everything else. Oh, and last but not least, there was something else that was leaked on the stream that I don't think was done on purpose. There was actually I think it was a 9th stage that was available on the stage select. Fulgore's was the new stage, of course, that was freely available, but there was also a hidden other stage that we did not get to fully see until they hovered over it and we saw the name and it said Shadow Tiger Lair. This is probably a huge clue that one of the final boss characters, or the final boss character for arcade mode, is most likely going to be Shadow Jago, and his stage is actually selectable. So until we actually get a look at arcade mode and figure out what exactly is going on, I'll let you guys know how do we get that stage, what do we have to do to acquire it, because even during the Microsoft live stream it was locked out and they could not even select it. So either way, thank you guys a ton for watching. Stay tuned, because as soon as we know more about Fulgore and his upcoming release on April 9th, that is confirmed the date that he will be coming out, I'll be back with a full analysis of the character as well as a breakdown of how he works, the things you should be going for, and pretty much getting good with Fulgore on day one. If you guys are looking forward to it, I appreciate a comment below as well as a thumbs up, and subscribe if you guys haven't yet, because there's a lot more Killer Instinct on the way even after Fulgore has been revealed. Take care, folks, and if you want to hit me up regarding any of this, shoot me a message over on Twitter, which you can find in the link in the description below. My name is Maximilian, and I'll see you guys next time.